Okay, so this is going to be a interesting video for many of you, right? It's an age-old question, something that many of us have asked, and it's how to get girls. It's something all of us who are attracted to women want to understand. And the answer is actually very simple. In fact, it's so simple, well, many of us don't like to hear it. It's so simple, it doesn't even seem actionable. So we'll get to what the answer is, right? But before we get there, what do we do, right? We have no idea what to do. So we do some research, right? And where do we do research? On the internet. And the internet might quite possibly be the worst place to do this type of research. I don't know, maybe you have a questionable uncle or friend that might give you some bad advice. But the internet is up there for bad places to go. Why? Well, let's take a quick look and I'll show you. All right, so here we are. I conducted a search, and you can do this in any web browser, it doesn't matter. How to get girls. So, okay, what are the results? Well, there's going to be a lot of numbers, right? 3, 5, 10. There's a wiki about it. You have to have solid game, whatever that is. All right. But, we'll get to YouTube later with these videos. 5 important things. Numbers are important with this, and oftentimes it's because they'll give you a few and then you have to pay to get the rest, or like join something or go through a payroll. How to get girls to chase you, how to talk to girls and get them hooked in all caps. How the beast. Okay, cool. How the beast. All right. This is great. Psychological tricks. We're going to see that again later, because this is what you want to do. You want to psychologically trick someone into being in a relationship with you. That's healthy and that's going to last, right? Okay, and then we get down, gosh, look at these pictures. And then we get down into some more promotional things, movies that they're trying to sell you, and more psychological tricks. It's even one of the options, psychological tricks. Kind of gross, guys, kind of weird. Okay, so did you notice a theme? It seems like there's a lot of numbers, systems, gimmicks, as if there's some type of formula that will end in the result that you want if properly followed. And let's just stop there and have a self-check-in with that concept. Most of these videos, websites are created by pickup artists. And they're there to generate ad revenue. So they want you to click on them. They're not there to actually help you form relationships with people. Forget about actually being in a romantic relationship with someone. So, you have to ask yourself this, because they're selling you things. And of course, when you sell things, you want numbers, right? 5 tips, and then maybe you only get 3. Or 5 tips, get the full list here, and then you pay. But let's say you do pay, right? Do you really want to trick somebody into liking you? Because, or maybe even having sex with you? Because that's what this is all implying, right? Psychological tricks, turn a switch on in a person's brain. That seems a little skeevy, right? And how are you going to feel when the person figures this out? Because they're going to figure it out. You're not being authentic. They're going to get your BS. And then, by extension, how are you going to feel when they tell all their friends about you and your stupid games that you play? Well, it's not going to work well in the long run. Another word of caution. Pickup artist videos and sites often lead down a rabbit hole, right? So we all know that when you are on a web browser or on a website like YouTube, for instance, there's an algorithm that helps you find what it is that you're looking for. And when you are looking at this type of content, you enter into something called the manosphere. And so some of you might have heard of this before. But if you haven't, just take a wild guess at what the manosphere is filled with. You got it. Resentment towards women. And why? Well, because they didn't date or sleep with you after all of your pickup artist stuff. So you end up on YouTube eventually because there's carefully designed YouTube thumbnails at the top of your browser. And this is definitely the worst place to be. If the internet is the worst place to go, then when you're at the worst place to go, YouTube is the worst place to be. Regardless of the search, you end up in rabbit holes that include the red pill, rationalists, alt-light, eventually straight up alt-right stuff, usually in the guise of self-help. And if you don't know what all these terms mean, it's okay. I'll make future videos about them. But they're all bad and they're not going to help you get girls. They might help you commiserate with other people, and that can turn to resentment. And that resentment in that type of community can lead to some pretty horrific beliefs, ranging from misogyny to just plain old racism. It's a no-fly zone. Here, I'll show you. Let's check it out. Okay. So here we are, we're at YouTube. Everybody eventually ends up here when we're doing research, right? And so how to get girls, and here's the results. 5 weird tricks to get girls to chase you. Now, a fun thing with this, I actually did click on it, and it talks about turning a switch on and off in a woman's brain. I mean, how weird is that? Like, would you do that with another friend, right? Like you're hanging out with a guy or something, and you're like, man, I need to get into this guy's brain and like flip a switch so that whatever, we can go hang out. It's so dehumanizing and just messed up. It's like you're treating women like some kind of weird object or something. But okay, I digress. So let's go down and check it out. Okay, so this one's gonna work every time. Oh, this one's good. How to get hoes. Okay, cool. How to make her obsessed. Okay, so, lots of numbers, right? 7 psych tricks, 5 rules, more 5 rules. People like 5, I guess, for some reason, 10s and 5s. Lots of 5s, right? Okay, so I'm not gonna go down the whole rabbit hole of algorithms here, but so you're going to look at this stuff and it's going to be a whole bunch of things like this that don't really show you anything. Again, they just want to get clicks for advertising dollars. They don't really care about you getting a girl, as if, again, you can get somebody. But so let's say we get a little resentful. How about this? Why do girls like jerks? And there are things like, okay, so check it out. Oh, why do women like assholes, jerks, etc.? This one looks interesting. What's this about here? So now we're at one of these, whatever you want to call them, rationalists or something. All right, so he's going to lecture and tell you how to get a date. Jordan Peterson is kind of like an entryway into this rabbit hole. This one looks fun. Let's check this out. Right, and I'm just curious here. I want to see. So we're here. Oh, I see some stuff about Nazis, white supremacists. Some stuff making fun of gender pronouns. black supremacists. You know, it's funny because I thought we were trying to figure out how to have women like us. And, you know, we're down in this comment section talking about black supremacists apparently, and Nazis and things like that. Okay. And then on the right, we can see some other things here, a lot more from this guy. There's a Joe Rogan Experience, fun, right? Brett Weinstein, he's another winner. And I'm saying that sarcastically. So let's go down here. Okay, so now we're at anti-abortion. We're at, so now we're at Ben Shapiro. So you can see transgender, and of course these guys are going to be making fun of transgender people. So you can see where this leads, right? This is not going to get you a date, by the way. This is just going to get you into a weird rabbit hole of negativity, and you might feel connection, which is maybe why you're looking for a relationship right now, that you're feeling alienated. But this type of connection is not good, all right? All right, so what's the answer then? It's not in paid sites. It's not going to be some psychological trick, because that's just weird and dehumanizing. There's not any specific number of things that you can do to trick people, because why would you want to trick someone into liking you anyway? So what's the answer? Well, here's the cop out. There isn't one. But here's why. The reason why there isn't a clear answer is because the question doesn't make sense. You don't get girls. Think of it like this. Do you get friends? Do you plan strategies and mental tricks and psychological, what have yous, in order to make friends that you have no romantic relationship in? No, of course not. You just make friends. And the same is true with, well, having a girlfriend, right? These people are human beings too. Plus, you want to be with someone who values you, not some image or persona that you're inventing, because, well, let's be honest, that's not going to last forever, even if it does work initially. So what's my advice, right? Well, my advice is to be the best you that you can be. Take care of yourself and value yourself. Be successful at things that interest you. Don't fall into traps of resentment. For while there are many systems in the world that are social and political that are unfair, they're not to blame for you not being able to get a date. The truth is, if you're the best you can be, and you care for yourself and you care for others, people are going to naturally be attracted to you, and you're going to end up making more friends. And that could be exciting at first. If you're at university, if you're in high school and you're interested in art or technology, math, science, do it. Exercise. Take care of yourself, right? Be empathetic towards others and understanding and open-minded. And you will naturally attract friends. But here's the thing about naturally attracting friends, right? It'll happen, and it might be exciting at first, especially if you felt alienated before in the past, or you haven't had many friends, maybe you're away from home, whatever the reason. But you might be attracted to your friends, and they might not be attracted to you or romantically interested in you. And know this, that just because you're doing all of these things that all of us should be doing anyway, being healthy people, they never owe you anything. Remember that. Sometimes folks will fall into that trap. No one ever owes you anything sexually or emotionally. But you will meet someone eventually who's on the same journey you are, as long as you're doing it in good faith, just like an argument. in a way, it's a relief, and it should take some pressure off of you, right? If you're pursuing things that you're interested in and you're being the best you, then you'll eventually run into someone who values those things and in turn will value you as well. Easy to say, right? It can be very alienating, frustrating, depressing, isolating to feel like you're unable to be in a relationship. And I know that. If you feel like you want to talk about your feelings, or you're concerned that maybe you're having negative thoughts, or even potentially thoughts of depression or something serious, seek out a male group. There's tons of men's groups that range from free groups at universities to paid therapy. And if you have insurance, you might be able to pay deductible, and there will be a future video on that. Now, this is not the same as doing what we just did to try to pick up women, going online and looking, because while it may be free and while money might be a real obstacle, you're not going to find what you need. What you will find are things like men's rights groups, and it's the same toxic garbage that's going to lead you down rabbit holes of just bad things, none of which are actually about you being appealing to someone else who would like to be in an equal relationship with you. So don't be ashamed to participate in these activities. It's not edgy or cool, right, to go to a men's group or a therapy group, but it's effective, and the latter is not. That's really it. Treat yourself with dignity. Treat others as you would like to be treated, right? Basic things. Pursue your interests and don't put pressure on yourself. This will happen. It just might not be as soon as we want, but sometimes there's a reason. Sometimes we need to do work on ourselves too, because remember, this is a mutual thing. And the person that you're entering into that relationship with is also seeking all of the things that you're seeking for in them. And so you need to be a person that, well, you would want to date in a way.
Hey, thanks for watching. I try to make these around 15 minutes, give or take. Some are longer, some are shorter. But the goal is to provide you with reliable content that can directly assist you in one way or another. Please consider sharing this video on social media and to like or subscribe for future videos. Thanks again.